Hi and welcome back. In this video we're going to introduce async and await. These two pieces of syntax are fairly new in Python and they are extremely used nowadays whenever you write any Python code that uses asynchronous development. For example, there are many Python frameworks and sort of libraries that you can use that allow you to run things together, more or less, all in the same thread, but yielding to one another in order to avoid waiting times. And nobody understood yield from. So a new keyword was invented in order to get rid of yield from. And this keyword is called the await keyword. So we're going to rewrite this code. It's going to be a small rewrite in order to use async and await. And you'll see how suddenly it just makes a lot more sense. So let's rewrite this to use the new Python syntax and you'll see how it makes a lot more sense. We are going to essentially leave this exactly the same, but we now must tell Python that this is not a generator that can somehow accept data. We now have to say this is a coroutine. Okay? So we say at coroutine. And it's red because it doesn't know what it is, so we have to import it. So from types import coroutine. And then it likes it. You must do this in order for us to be able to do the following, which is await g. It doesn't like this because you must do async def there. Now that we've got our async function, this tells Python that it can await coroutines. And when we await a coroutine, that is exactly the same as yield from. Now we can accept data via this send, and it gets passed over to g, which is this generator here, this coroutine, which accepts it through the yield and gets again sent to greeting, and then it prints things out. Notice that when we await, in the same way as when we yield from, this waits for this entire function to finish. So here the while loop, essentially this is waiting for the entire while loop to finish. But it can suspend halfway through. That's the whole point of the yield. So when you send something, this gets passed over to G, which then resumes the function after the yield, and then it will go back over to the start of the yield, and then it suspends. And this function, this line here, still hasn't finished running. When you send some more, then it gets passed over to G, and then it continues this function running. But await G still hasn't finished running until this coroutine has ended. If we print something like starting, and here something like ending, you'll see what I mean. If we press play, you can see that we press starting, but ending is never printed out, because we've not finished running the coroutine. The coroutine has a loop, and it continues running until friends is empty. And we've not gone through all of the friends, we've only gone through 2 of the friends with our 2 greetings. If we wanted to go through all of the friends, we can do that. And just by doing this. And now if we run this again, you can see that we get ending at the end, and then we get our stop iteration because the coroutine ended. And, when you end a coroutine or a generator, you get a stop iteration to signal that this is the end. So this is really important. The await, just like yield from, they are exactly the same thing, waits for this to finish, but you can suspend the function in the middle. Okay? So a slightly better way of going about this could be that instead of, sending arbitrary greetings there, one of the great things is you can send, for example, hello, but then you can get another thing from the user, and then you can do greeter send greeting. And then you can sort of copy them and paste them again. This is now proper multitasking, because when you run it, now you get the user to type, and as soon as the user types, this then continues running the function above, and it prints out, Jose, howdy, Charlie. and then your program ends. We've not gone through all of our friends, so this is how the program ends there. There are more uses, many more uses, of course, for this async and await syntax and for concurrent programming in Python as a whole. So all you've seen so far is some sort of abstract examples that I've just shown you there, but we need to look at a way to use these functions in the real world. Okay. In the next video, I'm going to suggest that you watch a few talks, and those talks, again, will walk you through what async and await mean and how you do concurrency in Python, and they will also include some real-world examples. And then afterwards, we're working to add some more content on the course about some real-world examples of using async and await. So if that's not yet in the course, just check back later on and we will be adding it in. Hopefully, though, now you understand how async and await work, and that's by using these generators. With that said, I'll see you in the next video.